on adding players to your roster, doing bulk imports, and then syncing teams to the Hitting Approach app. So I'm in my organization, logged in under ccorg at pelotero.com. I'm going to go ahead and go to my organization locker and look at my teams. So you're going to have no teams when you first create your account. So the objective here is figure out how many teams you want to have. You can have as many teams as you want. So for the sake of this, I'm going to add a team right now. The organization is Rake City. The team name is going to be Rake City Test. Sport, baseball. Make sure you have a sport picked in. You don't need a description. You're going to notice this Hitting Approach team ID here. That's going to be important here in a few minutes. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save my team. And I'm going to look for my team that I just created, Rake City Test. I'd have no players in there, so I'm going to go ahead and go in and look. You're going to see the sync user button, add bulk import, add new athlete, email team roster. If I want to bring my players in and create accounts for them in bulk, this is the easiest way to do it. You need to use a spreadsheet with rosters created. If you want to do it manually and create your rosters in a new spreadsheet, this is the template that you have to use. It's important that you click and drag on this top line. We need this whole line in the spreadsheet as the first row of the document. And then you see the format on all the things that we need. The only 5 required fields are these first 5. So you need to have the whole line, but the only things that you need to fill out are profile type, email, first name, last name, date of birth. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I have a file in here that I can choose. To look for a roster. Don't know if I have anybody. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and check that one, see if it worked. Don't know if that was an actual roster, but if it is, it'll work. So look at that. I've just added these 7 players to my roster. So that roster was created for bulk import. So all you have to do is go to an Excel or a Google Sheet, create the document, and then save it in CSV format. Now you see right here this hitting athlete ID. This is what's going to let you know that you've been synced up to your Hitting Approach account. So the data for the athlete will be flowing or it won't. So in this case, I'm going to go to Hitting Approach, and I already have it open to this tab, the opposing teams tab, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new team. And I'm going to call that team Rake City Test. RCT is going to be the abbreviation. I'm going to go ahead and create it. So I'm going to have my Rake City Test team down here. Now when I go ahead and click on my team, I'm going to click on the roster. Notice how I have no players in there. Remember that ID that I showed you back on the Pelotero screen? So I'm going to go back into the team. That ID, that Hitting Approach team ID. Okay, we need to grab that from Hitting Approach and pull it in here. So I'm going to go back to my roster. And this number at the end of the URL is going to be our Hitting Approach team ID. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to just throw it right in to that team ID. I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit sync user. Remember, we had no players on this roster over here. I'm going to hit sync users. And notice how it populated a number for all my athletes. And if I go ahead and look, refresh this page, I'm going to have all my athletes from Pelotero in Hitting Approach. So that's how we do bulk imports and then sync our rosters on HA.